Hello, everybody. David Lowry with Club Fantasci, and we are here today with JR Honeycutt from Level 99 Games, and we're going to talk about the current Kickstarter project, Millennium Blades. Welcome to the broadcast, JR. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
All right. So you guys have got a new project on Kickstarter called Millennium Blades, and you're about 5 days from being finished, and you are roughly $141,000 into it. Tell us the concept behind Millennium Blades and what makes it so unique.
Awesome. So you have asked the magic question, of course. Millennium Blades is a board game about playing a collectible card game that is called Millennium Blades. So in Millennium Blades, you are players playing a game called Millennium Blades. It sounds super meta, but what it is this beautiful board game that gives the experience of playing a collectible card game, like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon or L5R. And it gives you all these aspects of trading cards and opening packs and building decks and going to tournaments and getting all these really cool visceral feelings you might remember if you were a CCG player. But it recreates them in a fully contained board game form with all the things basically that come with the game are what you need to play. It's fantastic.
Now, the concept, again, is a board game about people playing a CCG.
Yes.
Where did that idea come from? Because that is completely and utterly unique.
Cool. So that comes from the mad genius that is Brad Talton, founder and owner of Level 99 Games. Previously designed BattleCon, Pixel Tactics, both of which I think are super inventive games that our fans really like a lot. He was a CCG player, and he's told the story on a few of the interviews you can hear on the page. He, like me, and I think a lot of us that are in the tabletop gaming hobby, was a Magic player, was a Pokemon player when he was in high school, when he was in college. And he always loved these really cool feelings of like I built a deck and it was really good. Then all my friends went home and built their own decks and came back and beat mine. There's this constantly evolving meta. And oh, there's a new set out. I'm going to go buy a bunch of booster packs and open them and see what I get. I'm going to do a draft. I'm going to do a sealed pool. He loved all these feelings, and as a designer, he had this idea that he wanted to create a board game that gave you these feelings in a totally self-contained experience. And because Brad is, no joke, brilliant as a designer, just stunningly brilliant as a designer, he was able to pull it off and put it together. It's been in design for 2 years. It's on version number 23 or 24 now, I think. So even after the original designs, he's revised it that many times, getting it where it is now, and it's so good.
Now, looking at it, it says it's 2 to 5 players, around 2 hours playing time, and it says the intensity is high. So I'm assuming it's a little bit of a brain burner.
You know, it's funny. I almost got mad at Brad for saying the intensity was high, because it isn't that the game is necessarily complicated. It's that there's lots and lots of things that are happening. So it's high intensity because of the number of cards, because you are trading and thinking about what you want to build and deck building. Like if you think about it, like any CCG is a high intensity game, right? Like when you're selecting 60 cards to go into a deck, and then you're choosing how you want to play it and making these choices in the game, like there is no low intensity CCG. It doesn't exist. So it models the same kind of complexity you'd see in any of your favorite collectible card games. But from a teaching and playing standpoint, I've had the opportunity to demo this game at conventions for the last 5 months. And it isn't like you're trying to teach somebody how to play Agricola, right? It isn't like you have to teach them 50 rules before they can play. You can basically just say, hey, there are 5 keywords in the game, maybe 6. Here's what they do. They're all self-explanatory. Now you know what cards do. Build a deck, let's go. You only need to play 6 cards out of 10 in your hand, and then you're going to score some points. Like, you might not play it well, so you might need to be more intense to play it really well and win a game. But you can play it and enjoy it even at an entry level, even if it's your first game. So I think it's like more of a medium intensity game, but because of the number of components and all the stuff that we have going into the game and the beautiful complexity of it, Brad says it's a high intensity game and he's the boss. So, you know, he gets to say that.
Now, I'm looking at this, and the game itself says, in the base game itself, there's 500 cards, 2 central mats, 5 player mats, plus tokens and money. That's a lot to come in a box. So what are the pledge levels for these people to come in at?
Yeah, it's a ton. And the one that you just talked about is the gamer level at $50. I think that's the name of it. It's a $50 pledge, and it is, the full 500 cards, which is actually going to end up being more than that now because of the number of stretch goals we've unlocked. The money, if we get to the stretch goal, the $200,000 stretch goal, the money is going to be actual little stacks of cash that are rubber banded together or like plastic banded together. So instead of like handing somebody $1, you'll hand them a wad of dollars, and that'll be $1, right? So you like throw these wads of dollars around and stuff. The tokens are going to be these super cool tokens that you use to say what you've bought and sold. It's just beautiful, and you can look through the page and see examples of the art. The player mats are necessary because they tell you where to place your cards, and they give you all the meta information you'll need, as well as like rules reminders. We kind of abstracted all the things that you would see in the rule book, plus like the player tips and stuff like that, onto a central playmat for each player. Not only because like CCGs need playmats, this is like a part of the experience of the game, but because it gave us a nice spot to centrally put the information players would want to have during the game. So $50 for that. And if you don't think 500 cards is enough, and to be honest, who does, right? You can go to $80, the Power Gamer pledge level, and get a copy with the expansion that we've just unlocked a few days ago, the set rotation expansion, which adds another 100-ish cards to the game, more than that now, with existing stretch goals. And it gets even crazier. We've also just unlocked the co-op mode, so you can play the game cooperatively with your buddies against the Druid Kings, who are like the archetypal, like wrathful gods who are coming back to protect their Millennium Blades secrets. Or you can play solo mode against them or co-op with your friends. So there's a lot in the box. It's crazy. But that's what we do at level 99. We put beautiful art on these cards. We just stuff them into a box, into a giant box full of stuff, tons of play modes. We like to think that if you bought one of our games, you can play just that game for a long time and still be very happy. Or you can buy all of our games and play them all the time and be very happy.
Now, you brought up an interesting point. In today's world of Cult of the New, something like this is a game that you could not possibly play 5 or 6 times and get a full gaming experience out of. You would have to play this a lot to really get deep into it and understand it, and really, you know, have tried all the different strategies. And that to me is very appealing compared to a lot of what comes out where you play it 5 or 6 times and you can basically be done with the game. How do you guys plan on encouraging people to dive into the gameplay of this and not give up on it after 5 or 6 plays?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's a deeper question than you might think, because when you're designing, that's one of the choices that you make, right? Like, how many times do I want somebody to experience this product? If you're a musician, you think about that too. Do I want people to listen to this song a lot or a couple times and be done with it, right? Or when you're writing, is this a book that's going to get read for a generation? Brad likes to make games that will get played over and over and over again. And the way that you design for that is by incorporating a ton of depth. There's a term, replayability, that people bring up all the time when describing games. And it means, like, are there enough ways to play this game, or is there enough depth in this game that I'll get a different experience from it each time I play it? An actual different experience, not just a different looking experience. Like Settlers is not replayable. Settlers Extended isn't replayable because you can change the hexes around. That's modularity. Settlers is replayable because you can take different strategies that will lead to different results, and every game evolves differently. That's why it's replayable. Right. For Millennium Blades, we think it's replayable, because the different character powers really change the way you interact with the game, and they let you focus on different aspects. Like, some characters really reward you for trading with other players. Some characters really reward you for collecting big sets of cards. Some players reward you for having really interesting decks that combo off and do super cool stuff. And depending on the kind of player you are, you might gravitate towards one of those, but you might want to experience some other aspect of gameplay by choosing a different character. Also, there are so many sets in the game. I think 24, 26 different sets of microcards that you choose from, and you don't play with all of them at the same time. That introducing different sets into the core set you're playing with will really, really change how it feels to play. You'll be doing different things, playing with different abilities, which is super cool, right? It's like, how do you keep Magic replayable or any other CCG? You incorporate new cards that have new, interesting, powerful abilities, and you give players new chances to make decisions and do fun things in the game.
Now, something else that just got announced was you've got some sponsored promo sets. Can you talk about those for a moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you're referring to the Arcane Wonders Mage Wars promo pack that we just released yesterday. Super excited about that, by the way. Those guys are fantastic, Brian and Scott and the whole gang. We've got a bunch of promo sets that are coming out. We've got some that are still unannounced that we're still working on. But we're trying to focus on things that are reminiscent of card games. Obviously, Mage Wars isn't a collectible card game. It's a head-to-head two-player game. If you could call it an LCG legally, I'm sure they would. But Fantasy Flight has the copyright on that.
Right.
But yeah, we're looking for these cool promo packs that really let us get into the spirit of card gaming. So we've got that one. We've got one for Jasko's game. I'm gonna sit here and blank on the name of it until I scroll down and see it.
Red Horizon.
Yeah, for Red Horizon, it's UFS, the Universal Fighting System. I always call it Ultimate Fighting because UFC.
Right.
Plus, Terrain Odyssey is another wonderful card game, and we've got some more coming down the pipes. We have one that I can't say today, but I might be able to say it like later today if Brad gives me the okay. Yeah. And you know, like we pinged Wizards of the Coast to see if they would let us do like a Magic set, and we never got a response. So we tried, everybody.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Now there's 5 days left on this. And I know we want to get as many people to look at this as possible. What is the shipping date of the game once it's funded?
Yeah, the shipping date, I think Brad put December 2015. I want to make sure and see. Yeah, it's going to be December or January 2015. We've added a bunch of expansion content here, but we planned on that. So the printing process is like relatively standard. But as with any project, like you never know how long it's going to take, but we're planning December, January, barring any unforeseen circumstances.
Now, December, January, that's less than a year, and this is quite a huge game. It's mostly cards and a board, so I don't anticipate any major delays there, I guess.
Right.
Man, the artwork on this is just stunning. It really is.
Fabio, our lead artist, has been working on this game for 2 years, and it is incredible. I cannot tell you, man. Fabio live streams, by the way, all the time. Our artist will live stream through his account. You can just watch him, like, just draw, and it's incredible because he makes these characters right in front of you. It's super cool.
It is super cool. Now, you're saying you've been working on this, and I think it's in here that you've been working on this for roughly 2 years. That's a long time to be playing, and you said 23 or 24 different versions of the game.
Yep.
That's interesting to me because now, I was just thinking about this the other day. Yesterday I did a release of a prototype game, and it had me thinking about how quickly games come out now and how some of them feel so rushed. What was the importance by taking the time with this particular game?
That's just Brad's MO as a designer. I don't want to call him a perfectionist because that has a negative tint to it. Brad is an incredibly thorough designer. He wants to make sure that the game shines before he releases it. And he's not afraid to take a good game and make changes until it's a great game. And I think he really holds himself to that standard. And anybody who's played BattleCon will tell you that's the truth. It's one of the top-ranked Kickstarter games of all time on Board Game Geek and thousands of fans. He wants to make sure it's exactly what he wants it to be before he goes. And if it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years, and that's fine, right?
Right, absolutely.
And I think we've got it here now. So.
Well, I was just thinking about this the other day, too, so I was writing a blog on it. But the idea of taking your time with the game and getting behind it 100% so that you have the option, not I shouldn't say the option, but you have the most chance of success of having the next Catan or Ticket to Ride in the sense of numbers sold. And it's really hard to do that with a game that feels rushed or isn't properly vetted through the system.
Totally agree. Brad tells me all the time, why make a game if you don't think it's the greatest game that's ever been made?
Exactly. So I'm really, happy to hear about this and see this because I think that in some ways we're doing our hobby an injustice by rushing things so quickly to get the next Kickstarter out. But just glancing at this and looking over everything, this really looks, from what I can tell, extremely solid. So happy about that. There are videos on the Kickstarter page for people to check out. Looks like Rado does a couple videos on there, just running through the gameplay.
Yep. Rado loved it, by the way. He was really a big fan.
And like I said, man, that's just a ton of stuff in a box for a $50 backer level. That's well worth the bang for the buck right there. 5-player mats, heavy cardstock. It's not paper printing. That's good stuff right there.
We're pretty proud of it. We think that anybody who's bought one of our games before knows that you get your money worth. But anybody who might be a new backer, this is what we do at Level 99 Games. Like, we put a ton of value in the box. We get you something that's 100% worth it. You're going to open this box and go, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I can't believe this only costs $50 or $80 with the expansion. Like, it's going to be great.
And one of the things I like about your page here that I haven't seen before, and doesn't mean it's unique, just means I haven't seen it, is you've listed your past Kickstarter projects so people can go back and get a sense of how you've done over the years and give a sense of confidence if they haven't ever backed one of your projects before.
Yep. That's, well, you know, we've got, what, 7 or 8 previously funded projects. So we definitely have a track record to be proud of. Argent just got delivered in January and February, and it's been hugely popular so far. Pixel Tactics Deluxe, we just finished kickstarting it in February, January, February again, and that was also, it went really well, really popular. So we're proud of our campaigns we've had. We love our backers, and we want to show that off as much as we can. And we think it's a nice, you know, check-in point for anybody who wants to know what our track record is.
All right, folks. So again, we got 5 days left on this. It is funded, so if you get in on it, there's no worry about losing your investment.
Yep.
But this is definitely a game that you need to check out and take a look at. Millennium Blades, the CCG simulator card game. It's a board game simulating the CCG game. Any last thoughts you want to put on there, JR, before we...
Yeah. Just want to say, we just overnight, I woke up this morning to see the notification, unlocked the $140,000 expansion goal that is BattleCon promo cards. So anybody familiar with our game BattleCon, there will be BattleCon fighters in the world of Millennium Blades. And we were pushing to the next stretch goal at 150K, which is event venues, individual venues, 10 of them or more, you can play in that change up how the game goes, right? So it's like going to Nashville for a GPT, for Magic, or going to Seattle or to Tokyo or to the moon, right? Or to the gates of hell. I don't know, anywhere you want to go. There are these different venues that'll take you there. And we're pretty excited about that. We're getting more and more into the content we're really proud of here. So
this is just crazy as I'm looking at this. So those are the last 2 expansion goals right there. Those are the last 2 goals to hit to get all. Yeah.
Now, Brad will probably release the next 2 or 3 today or tomorrow, I'm sure.
All right, that's awesome. All right, folks, take a look at it. Go to Kickstarter, look up Millennium Blades, click on the links, do everything you can to share this project in those last few days, and please take a moment and back it. $50 to get at the base game with all that stuff is completely amazing. JR, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much, David. I appreciate it.
To our viewers, if you are looking at the bottom of this interview on the page for Club Fantasci, all the links will be there for you to be able to click on, so you won't have to go searching for anything. And just thank you so much for tuning in. Again, thanks to JR for joining us. If you have any questions whatsoever, just reach out to us, and we will do our best to get you in touch with the people that can answer your question. David Lowry from Club Fantasci signing off. Thank you.